The play looked innocent enough. Marc Buoniconti, number 59 in white for the Citadel, coming in on this first quarter tackle. But his head struck the artificial turf wrong, and it caused a severe neck injury.
Slot right, 150 up.
One back in the backfield, three receivers wide right for Gromos. Back to throw in the pocket, plenty of time. Man wide open, it's Gaines, he's hit. Fumble!
Brock Berlin, plenty of time. Oh, perishes, polarized by Stanford Samuels. You felt that one up here.
You saw it coming.
Michigan at the 41. What a hit! Ball's free on the ground. South Carolina deserves to have it, and they do.
Cloudy just says, I'll take care of business right here. You give me this long to catch my breath, I'll come off the ball and rock you.
It's presented by the National Football Foundation.
Martinez to throw it over the middle. He finds Jamal Turner. And what a block! Teddy Bell! Turner! Touchdown Nebraska! That's the best block we've seen this year.
Listen. That's football. Charles, that's football.
What is he supposed to do?
I'm having trouble absorbing that one because that's a guy chasing a ball carrier.
In 1976, 34 college football players were paralyzed in a single season. 34. That's almost 3 players a month having their lives destroyed. I spent 46 days researching these devastating hits and injuries, and these stories are unbelievable. Every hit you just watched? It didn't just end a career. It forced the NCAA to completely rewrite the rules of football. The targeting penalty, the spearing ban, the entire concept of protecting defenseless players, none of that existed before these moments. Today, paralysis in college football is extremely rare, but it took these 8 devastating hits to get there, and some of these players never walked again. Number 8. October 26, 1985. The Citadel versus East Tennessee State. Marc Buoniconti, son of NFL Hall of Famer Nick Buoniconti, was a linebacker who had already suffered neck injuries in 3 straight weeks, but he kept playing. On a sweep play, his teammate hit the running back first, causing him to flip forward. Buoniconti dove in head first. Marc had suffered a dislocation of the C3 and 4 vertebrae and a severe spinal cord injury that would leave him paralyzed from the shoulders down. Says Marc, quote, "I remember falling to the turf. It was like a buzz. I didn't feel any pain. I knew it. I said to myself, you're paralyzed." Marc faced a long, agonizing recovery with no hope of walking again. Medical wisdom taught that damage to the spinal cord was irreversible and irreparable. For Marc, rehabilitation meant learning to breathe without a ventilator and mastering the breath-controlled wheelchair that would provide his only mobility. He sued the Citadel for $800,000. During the trial, they argued he violated the 1976 spearing rule, which only exposed how poorly the rule was being enforced. The NCAA would later remove the word intentional from the spearing rule in 2005, making it easier for refs to call. But here's the real legacy. The indomitable spirit that brought Marc through months of grueling rehab led to further achievements. He returned full-time to the University of Miami, making the Dean's List and graduating in 1993 with a degree in psychology. Marc became ambassador for the Miami Project to cure paralysis and now serves as president, undertaking a vigorous campaign to let the world know that paralysis does not have to be forever. The message that powerful new scientific tools can unlock the secrets of spinal cord repair and regeneration has touched millions of paralyzed persons around the world. Marc has served on several local, state, and federal committees, given hundreds of interviews, spoken at countless public appearances, and inspired millions with his courage. Number 7. October 28, 1989. Ole Miss versus Vanderbilt. Homecoming. Roylee Chucky Mullins was a 165-pound redshirt freshman defensive back. Vanderbilt's 215-pound fullback Brad Gaines caught a short pass. Mullins dove headfirst to make the tackle, knocking the ball loose. Gaines got up, but Mullins never did. In the collision, he shattered 4 cervical vertebrae and was instantly paralyzed from the neck down. Over 18 months of hospitalization, Mullins became a symbol of courage. President George H.W. Bush visited him. Walter Payton visited him. And even Janet Jackson paid him a visit. Over $1 million was raised for his care. On May 6, 1991, he died from a pulmonary embolism caused by blood clots from inactivity. He was only 21 years old. Ole Miss retired his number 38. Only one player can wear it per year, the winner of the Chucky Mullins Courage Award. There's a bronze bust of him that every Ole Miss player touches before home games. And author Willie Morris wrote that Mullins' injury did more for race relations in Mississippi than anything. One tackle, one life, an entire state changed forever. Number 6, November 7, 1991. Thursday night on ESPN. Texas A&M at TCU. Kyle McPherson was a 170-pound wide receiver. Quentin Coriat was a 243-pound linebacker nicknamed the Terminator, who wore a Darth Vader-style visor. On TCU's fourth offensive snap, the quarterback threw a slant. Coriat anticipated the route, stepped up, and led with his right shoulder directly into McPherson's face as he leaped for the pass. McPherson was lifted off his feet and landed on his back. His jaw was broken in 3 places. His chin bone split down the middle, exposing the roots of his lower teeth, with another fracture near his right ear. His jaw was wired shut for 2 months. McPherson has no memory of the moments before or after. Remarkably, he came back and played 2 more seasons at TCU. ESPN named it Hit of the Year for 1991. TCU's coach called it the best hit I can ever remember seeing in 37 years of coaching. Coriat was drafted 2nd overall in the 1992 NFL Draft. Here's the thing. Under 1991 rules, this hit was completely legal. Today, that's targeting. That's an ejection. That's a suspension. The game changed because of hits like this. Number 5. November 8, 1997. Michigan at Penn State. Judgment Day. With 8 seconds left in the first quarter, Penn State tight end Bob Stephenson caught a pass and turned upfield. Michigan safety, Dadrian Taylor, delivered a helmet-to-helmet collision so violent that both players fell limp to the ground. Stephenson was unconscious for nearly 2 minutes. Teammates thought he was dead or paralyzed. Taylor said he couldn't feel his legs. Stephenson suffered a grade 3 concussion, the most severe classification possible, with temporary amnesia and nausea. Taylor required neck fusion surgery and wore a halo to stabilize his neck. Both of their careers ended immediately. This is the only known hit in college football history to end 2 careers at the same time. Charles Woodson, who won the Heisman that year and played 15 years in the NFL, called it the hardest hit I've ever witnessed. Michigan coach Brady Hoke said it was probably as hard a hit as I've been around. 15 years later, the Big Ten Network made an 8-minute documentary about this collision as concussion research became prominent. 2 players, 1 hit, both careers over forever. Number 4, September 23rd, 2000. Penn State versus Ohio State. Nationally televised on ABC. Adam Taliaferro was an 18-year-old true freshman cornerback with over 45 scholarship offers. He was making a routine tackle on tailback Jerry Westbrooks. His helmet hit Westbrook's knee, bursting his C5 vertebra and bruising his spinal cord. The crown of his helmet hit the turf and his body rolled awkwardly over his neck. His teammate heard a piercing scream. Doctors gave Taliaferro a 3% chance of ever walking again. He was paralyzed from the neck down. But 4 weeks after surgery at 2 a.m., his father saw the bedsheets move. Taliaferro had wiggled his toe. By January 2001, he walked out of rehab on crutches. 11 months after the injury, September 1st, 2001, he walked and jogged onto Beaver Stadium's field before 109,000 fans. The largest crowd ever to watch a man learn to walk again. Taliaferro founded the Adam Taliaferro Foundation, distributing over $1 million to spinal cord injury victims. He graduated from Penn State and Rutgers Law School, then served as a New Jersey Assemblyman from 2015 to 2022. He's the only player on this list to fully regain the ability to walk. A 3% chance, and he beat it. Number 3, November 7th, 2009. Cal versus Oregon State. Jahvid Best was a Heisman Trophy contender. But here's the problem. He was playing with a concussion from the previous week. He took off on a 7-yard touchdown run. Near the goal line, he attempted to hurdle cornerback Tim Clark. While airborne, rising 5 to 6 feet in the air, Oregon State safety Cameron Collins hit Best cleanly from the side. Best flipped over, landed directly on the back of his head, his helmet flying off on impact. His neck snapped back. He went motionless, body stiff. Best actually lost consciousness during that blow. The game was delayed 13 minutes. The stadium of 56,000 people went church quiet. Best suffered what was called, quote, one of the nastiest looking head injuries in recent memory, and missed the rest of the 2009 season. He was drafted 30th overall by the Detroit Lions in 2010, but recurring concussion issues forced him into cognitive therapy by 2012. For Best, these injuries weren't just physical, they took an emotional toll too. He found himself grappling with anxiety every time he stepped onto the turf, an all too familiar feeling among athletes who have faced similar fates. His NFL career was effectively over. This incident changed everything about return-to-play protocols. Why was Best cleared to play with a previous week's concussion? The terrifying visual, combined with congressional hearings on NFL concussions happening at the exact same time, led to stricter concussion policies. Best later competed in the 2016 Olympics as a track athlete for St. Lucia. But his football career? Practically over at 20 years old. Number 2. October 16, 2010, Rutgers versus Army at MetLife Stadium. Fourth quarter, game tied, 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Eric LeGrand was a 6 feet 2 inches, 275-pound defensive tackle on kickoff coverage. As he moved downfield, he unintentionally lowered his head and drove the crown of his helmet into Army slot back Malcolm Brown's shoulder. LeGrand lay motionless at the 25-yard line for approximately 5 minutes. Both teams took a knee. Army's coach walked across the field and placed his hand on Rutgers coach Greg Schiano's shoulder. LeGrand fractured his C3 and C4 cervical vertebrae. He was paralyzed from the neck down, requiring a ventilator. Doctors gave him 0 to 5% chance of walking. By Thanksgiving, he requested to be taken off the ventilator, but by January 2011, he was breathing independently. He regained shoulder movement and sensation throughout his body, but still remains in a motorized wheelchair. LeGrand told Malcolm Brown, "Don't worry about it. It's the game of football. Things like that happen. You shouldn't feel bad." In 2012, the NFL moved kickoffs from the 30-yard line to the 35-yard line, a change directly influenced by LeGrand's injury. Rutgers retired his number 52, the first jersey retired in the program's 144-year history. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers symbolically signed him in 2012. He received the Jimmy V Award for Perseverance and the WWE Warrior Award. He also founded Team LeGrand, raising over $2 million for spinal cord research. Oh, and by the way, Eric also opened LeGrand Coffee House in New Jersey. One kickoff, one rule change, one life dedicated to helping others. Number 1, December 1st, 2012, Big Ten Championship, Wisconsin versus Nebraska. Wisconsin was up by about 40 points. Nebraska running back Jamal Turner broke free on a run. Wide receiver Kenny Bell came from Wisconsin defensive back Devin Smith's blindside and delivered a devastating block. Smith went flying. The announcers on the national broadcast said it was a perfectly textbook block. Bell was flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct as he argued with the refs. That said, the block was legal. Smith left the game with a head injury but suffered no long-term damage. But here's why this is number 1. The following season, 2013, the NCAA directly changed the rules because of this hit. They added blindside block recipients to the defenseless player definition. It became known informally as the Kenny Bell rule. Bell later criticized the changes, saying, quote, "They're just trashing the game. It's sad. You hit someone too hard now, you're going to get a penalty. Get ejected? It's embarrassing. But that's the point. The game changed. What was celebrated as a textbook block in 2012 became illegal in 2013. One hit, one rule change, and football was never the same. From 34 paralyzed players in 1976 to single digits today, every targeting penalty, every ejection, every defenseless player rule, they all exist because of moments like these. The players on this list paid the price so future generations could play a safer game. The question is, though, has football gone too soft? Or are these rules actually saving lives? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more college football history like this, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.